Welcome to the Pushing Beauty podcast. This is Michelle Diavella, and these are words from my soul. So I was looking back at some old writing and notes in this journal that I've been using for the past several years. Whenever I'm on a healer training or doing any kind of healing work, I work with this one notebook that's almost filled up at this point. But I was just flipping through the other day because I realized I take notes sometimes and I just never look at them, which is one of the reasons why I don't even take notes that often. But when I do, I take them for a reason. And so I wanted to look back at them. And of course, you know, when you look back at anything, photo albums and stuff, you just get sucked into this sort of time warp. And I found some really cool stuff. I found some notes that I had written about who I wanted to be and the ways in which I was still holding myself back from loving myself, from treating myself well, being who it is I feel that I'm here to be. And I could really feel that the energy in my writing was about like, I'm not okay where I am. This doesn't really feel good being in this place that I'm in my own journey. And I really can't wait until I'm in this other place. And I am absolutely not perfect now, of course, because that's not possible or even a goal of mine. But I was really struck by the contrast of where I was then and where I am now. I could never imagine myself right now writing anything like that. Anything about wanting to be somewhere that I'm not. And that doesn't mean that I don't have intentions for myself or goals for myself for my own growth. But I really know what it means to love myself now. And not only do I really know what it means to love myself, but I really actually love myself a lot. And so a lot of my journey was about getting to the place of loving myself and even understanding what that meant and experiencing that and feeling that. And then, you know, thinking that I'm feeling that and knowing that I'm having glimpses of it, but basically struggling in this kind of back and forth where I would have these moments and experiences or periods of time when I felt like I really loved and honored myself. And then these, you know, dips into a lot of, I wouldn't say self-loathing, but like, you know, limiting beliefs and negative thought patterns, and just basically self-judgments. And it was frustrating for a long time. But what struck me in this contrast was not so much that I'm astonished that I am where I am now, because this always felt very possible for me and accessible. But more that the words I was reading were a version of me that I needed to go through in order to get to where I am now. So in other words, if you really want something, keep at it. And I mean, if you really, really want something. So I am relentless when it comes to my healing. It is my priority. It's my interest. It's what I love to talk about. It's what I love to be focused on. You know, I'm able to help people in deeper and deeper ways because I continue to dig deeper into my own healing. So I do it for myself because I feel better and better about who I am. I feel very, very just committed to this journey, even when I have no idea where it's going to take me, even when I have no goals or intentions for where I want to be or to go. I'm committed to it. So I keep showing up for it over and over and over again. And through that process, I have become somebody that I never even knew was possible to be. I feel a way that I didn't even know was possible. I didn't even know it really existed. So when you care enough, you find that discipline to love yourself. So for a while I cared, but I didn't care enough. Usually we start to care enough when it hurts enough. So I went through an awful breakup. The breakup itself wasn't awful, but my experience through it was, and I wrote a book about it and, you know, have talked about it quite a lot over the past 2 years. But it forced me to look at all of the things that I wasn't willing to look at before. It took me out of my comfort zone. I got uncomfortable enough to face all the painful things. And mostly because I felt like I didn't have a choice. And then I had this vision of my life getting better and that I might possibly be able to feel the way that I wanted to feel and experience the love that I really wanted to feel, and to feel worthy of being seen, and to feel like I belong, to feel accepted, to feel confident enough to share my voice, and humble enough to say, I'm sorry, I fucked up, and just feel really good being me. But it was like this kind of far out idea that I kept naturally getting closer and closer to as I healed. And then suddenly all of these amazing things started to happen that I didn't even really know I wanted until I began healing. Clarity comes through when you commit to healing. So when you love and honor yourself over and over and over again, moment after moment, day after day, what you know about yourself begins to change. It deepens. You understand yourself more. And then you know that you deserve more than you believed you did, maybe the day before or the moment before. And then how you show up in the world changes. Your interests and your desires change. Everything changes when you love yourself. Everything. But that change requires discipline. So I got to this place where I am now, which is not done. It's not a done deal. It's never going to be done. It's always going to be work forward, and I'm happy to show up for it. But I got to this place from that page in my notebook because of all of the moments of choosing myself in between. It wasn't this giant leap. I didn't jump over something and skip anything. It was every single difficult moment, difficult decision to love myself. And then eventually loving myself stopped being so hard. And it just became something I got to do, a privilege. If you want to love yourself, if you want more for your life, choose it in every single moment. And everything will start to change. It's not going to change the first time, but it changes. Oh, and do yourself a favor and go do some breath work.